Back during the times when WayForward was known for such a critically acclaimed titles as Extreme Sports and Pearl Harbor Defend the Fleet,
What?
they finally got their
What?
money's worth to finally produce an original title for the Game Boy Color known as Shantae,
After the Game Boy Advance was already released.
a year after the Game Boy Advance was released. And because of that, this title was pretty fucking rare, physical copy speaking. You can find it easily now in the 3DS eShop, which is how I'm pretty sure all of us have played this game except Lewis.
Yeah.
Don't you just hate it when somebody shoots a cannonball into your house?
All of the damn time. And if I'm off the top of my head, has this become the running gag in the series? Like, does every game begin with a cannonball going into her roof?
I'm trying to remember how Risky's Revenge started.
It started with something interrupting her in the house.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, only 2 games have been out so far because Pirate Curse, as of this recording, is still a figment of
That's
our.
that's never coming out.
Well, this is being recorded like right before E3, where WayForward said they were going to have Pirate Curse information. So
Yeah.
this might be incredibly outdated by the time this finally goes out, but
Okay.
still, that game was supposed to be out like 6 months ago. God damn it!
I was actually looking at. I have a bit of some Nintendo Power magazines on archive in my closet. I still have the one that front headlines Pirate's Curse from 2012.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's been that long. God damn it! But yeah, this is Shantae, a half genie, half human. I believe so. That is from Sequin Land, and it's her duty to protect the citizens of this place from shenanigans and shit like Risky Boots, a pirate that wants to harness the power of something called the steam machine, so you can use for.
So she can get all the sales.
Okay. She's after Valve. God damn it, we have to stop her.
So yeah, this is a game that I was always really interested in back when it was first coming out, because you mentioned Nintendo Power, but Nintendo Power had ads for Shantae all the frickin' time back then. And I was like, oh, that game looks cool, but it's just that's something I never really thought about too much. And then
It's stupidly rare.
yeah, and then it's just, I remember when Risky's Revenge first came out on the DSi, where it was like 2010, I think. It's just, I remember seeing pictures of it on like IGN and stuff. It's just like, oh, I remember that game, or the ads for it at the very least. And then I downloaded and played that first, because not only is this game very rare, it's hard to get running on an actual emulator. Like you have to download a special version of Visual Boy Advance in order to get it to run without like buttloads of lag.
Honestly, I don't know why that is, because
It doesn't look that technologically intensive.
Well, the sprite work is really, really fluid. Like,
Yeah.
ridiculously fluid. And all of these lighting effects and stuff, this is pushing the... You can tell that it's a late hardware game, because it's pushing the Game Boy Color to its absolute... I don't know, I never noticed that the Tinkerbacks down there are ramming the walls to make the platforms go in.
I was getting Aladdin Genesis vibes a few minutes ago. Now it's just... What the hell?
This happened in Aladdin Genesis too?
Yeah, it was like the first level was an Arabian city. Then there was the dungeon level with the bricks in the background that went in and out of the wall, and it was just.
then there was the part where the Tinkerbell stole the steam machine.
No, then there was the
Then
part
they
where you
bombed
were
Aladdin's
being
house.
chased by a lava wave on the magic carpet, and you died so many times that the game took pity on you and let you skip the level.
Whoa! Shantae!
I've seen the light! That steam machine is stupid!
Spend $500 on games I'm never gonna play, goddammit.
Like Goat Simulator.
And all of its DLC.
Wait, Gold Simulator has DLC?
No, I'm just talking.
Okay, wait, is she breaking the floor by bending over and wiggling her bottom?
It's just standing on it.
Yeah, just standing on it will break
The
it eventually.
animation was just...
Yeah,
Well,
Okay.
that's her crouching animation.
Yeah, she wiggles her bottom.
Yeah, Shantae, if we're going to talk about gameplay mechanics, is pretty much a more agile Belmont from the Castlevania series.
Yeah.
Because her hair whip is about as delayed as a whip attack. And that's pretty much all she can use, bearing special items that we'll be seeing later in the shop. in essence, Shantae is a Metroidvania, quote-unquote, type of game with bottomless pits.
Yeah.
With a little bit of Zelda thrown in.
Yeah, the bottomless when I first played this on the 3DS Virtual Console, I realized that they have a live system, and I was like, that is not something you need in a Metroidvania for the most part.
No. Health, yes, I get that. But the standard platform mechanics, as in bottomless pits, no. This is not Simon's Quest. We're past that. There's no need to bring homage to it.
Well, at least they learned, because after this game, Risky's Revenge
they still have the bottomless pits, but they
they're
just
nowhere
take
near
away
as
heart
aggravating.
and bring you back to the beginning of the room.
Yeah, it's nowhere near as aggravating.
And also in Risky's Revenge, they've got the little skulls over the bottomless pit,
yeah.
so you know, don't jump in there.
Yeah, bottomless pits are easier to avoid in future games. They're still there, though. In this game, however, there's two issues. One, to me, the existence of bottomless pits in the first place, I know that's an issue. But secondly, the camera's a little too zoomed in on Shantae in this game. Especially when you have to start doing some leaps of faith in the second half of the game, where you're jumping past waterfalls and stuff like that. You don't know exactly where you're going to land. And there are bottomless pits. And it's frustrating.
I think it's just a part of having such expressive and well-designed sprite work is that the sprites have to be bigger so that you can have better animations for it. And so it just gives you less screen to work with. That's actually one of the reasons why I don't like Superstar as much as other Kirby games, is because the sprites are so damn big and a third of the screen is being taken up by your health bar, so it's just you can't see what's going on around you as well.
It's because the Game Boy Advance was so small and they still wanted you to be able to see everything, so they zoomed in more.
Well, this is on the Game Boy Color, although you do get a special
Game Boy
thing.
Color was the same deal.
Well, the Game Boy Advance had a slightly wider screen at the very least. Unless if you
Still
press...
just as dark, unless you're using the SP.
Yeah. Unless if you press the L and R buttons to make your Game Boy Color games like super aspect ratioed. Although I don't know why you do that, because they just look weird.
I did it all the time.
I guess the black bars bothered you more than the...
My philosophy was, I got this new wide screen. I got to use all of it.
Okay, I guess.
Yeah, but since this was released a year after the Game Boy Advance was already released, this was co-developed. No, this was developed by WayForward, but was published by Capcom.
And because it was released an entire year after the Game Boy Advance came out, it didn't sell terribly well.
And that's also why it's so incredibly rare.
Well, it was critically acclaimed at the time, at the very least. So.
Yeah, to all the 6 people that actually played the game.
True.
So Capcom realized that, okay, we're releasing this so late into the Game Boy Color's lifespan that they printed it out in limited quantities. That's why it's so rare in the first place. And, I'm pretty sure it's not as expensive as it used to be because it's on the 3DS eShop now.
Hold on, I'll do a quick Amazon check.
The last time, just for comparison's sake, the last time I remember seeing a physical copy of Shantae before the 3DS version was announced was $300.
Okay, hold on. I'm searching, what's this called? Amazon as we speak, and brand new is $1,400.
Okay,
like
that
in the
that
box. Used is $250. Yeah. It's still not as expensive as Metal Gear Solid on the Game Boy Color, which is almost $10,000 new.
Wait, there was a Metal Gear Solid on the Game Boy Color?
Apparently.
Yes, there was. But that's non-canon.
Yeah.
Alternate continuity sort of thing. Anyway, we're supposed to be starting our adventure going to the right. I'm actually going to go left first because Metroidvania logic dictates that.
This is where you get the Morph Ball, right?
Unfortunately not. But we can get a health upgrade if we know exactly where to look. Now, Shantae, very much like Simon's Quest that we mentioned earlier, also has a day and night system. During the night, enemies have more health. They don't hit harder, but they take longer to kill.
Do you get attack? I only played like an hour or so of this, so I didn't.
Okay.
Do you get attack upgrades, like your hair does more damage? Because I know you get those in Risky's Revenge.
Yeah, there are some of those in this game.
Okay.
Your attack power never increases.
Okay. Wait, not really?
No, you never can upgrade your physical whip attack, You can get items, you can get
Yeah.
transformation upgrades, but Shantae's hair attack never gets stronger.
You can get new moves, only one of them useful.
We'll be seeing more of those later. Now for the best way to make money in this game. Dancing.
Rank C.
Why ranks? Why? What is rank D just stupid hard?
Rank A, the hardest one, is doable. I've done it plenty of
It's
times.
doable, but I can't do it consistently enough to make it worth it.
Exactly. Rank B is the one I'm the best at. And to me, I think considering just how consistent you can be with it, you'll make more money in a shorter amount of time.
Yeah.
The max you can make with rank A, I believe, is 75 gems. That is all the gems you get from hitting all the button prompts and the bonus gems you get for getting a perfect. So, say 9 or 10 rounds of rank A will get you max gems. I'm doing that. That's how you do the dancing game, and now I'm going to be cutting past all that shit until I get maximum amount of gems, because Shantae has an item shop.
Did it really take 20 minutes?
Yes. 20 minutes of non-stop hip-swaying action.
I know in Risky's Revenge you get gem bonuses for having other WayForward DSi games, and I have all of those, so you basically get almost enough money to buy all of the upgrades just off of those. So,
Right off of the
There are
bat.
also other ways to easily make money.
yeah, basically. And so I assume you're buying the ball, the fireball, the spinning balls, and the storm thing.
Yeah, I'm just taking the time to. I get a few. I think I get a few vials just for the health's sake, but I'm mostly buying invisible creams, which are really good when you just want to bypass a lot of bullshit. And pike balls, I think that's what they're named, are really good in dungeons. You'll be seeing more of that
Well,
later.
the pike balls. Okay, yeah, the pike balls are in the Risky's Revenge. The items use a magic meter instead of being like
one-time use.
One-time stuff. And the pike balls were easily the best items in the game because you had a barrier around you all the time, which made enemies die so quick.
Now, I haven't played all of Risky's Revenge, but you say it uses a magic meter. But is it still a singular pike ball that's in circle, Shantae?
It starts out as 1, and you can upgrade it to 2 and 3.
Ah, okay.
You should really finish Risky's Revenge, dude. It's
I need to go back
spectacular.
and find the time to play it, but I was just way too busy with other games.
Yeah, it
I have the
happens.
game, though, on the 3DS now, so...
Yeah, it happens. Maybe you'll finish it before A Way Forward gets Pirate's Curse out.
Maybe they're waiting for me to finish. Well, if that's the case, I'm sorry. I really should go and play and finish the game.
It'll come out when Half-Life 3 does.
Yeah.
You can't use Duke Nukem Forever as the guiding point now.
No, you really can't.